So thank
Yeah.
you for being a guest on Crosstalks. Can you introduce yourself and your background?
Sure. I'm Varun Raikar. I've been making AR effects since 3 years. Primarily, right now, I have my own agency. And also, I've made lots of tutorials on how people can get started with Spark AR. And they are some of the most viewed tutorials on YouTube till date. So I guess I'm a content creator and also a Spark AR developer. And the funny thing here is I do not come from a technical background. I've done mechanical engineering in a college. So I graduated
So why
over
you
2 years ago.
decided to jump in augmented reality?
So, like college degree was never the point. I just had to do something to get a degree. Here in India, it's like you have to get a degree so that your parents are like, okay, now your future is secure, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing that, but I was always curious in exploring new tech. I had a tech channel since 2013 on YouTube.
Whoa.
So I used to make game-related videos, computer-related videos. How can you make your computer faster? Which apps or which tools can you use to edit your photos better or videos? So I used to make content like that based around tech and applications for Windows and Android.
Okay.
So
And
yeah,
can you tell us like what is augmented reality, especially for you? Like how you can translate augmented reality in like human words?
so I see augmented reality as this layer of new reality that you have complete creative control over, that you can do anything. So I mostly view augmented reality as this new layer that we superimpose on top of our real world,
Mhm.
and it lets us enhance our real world experience.
Mhm.
We already have a rich reality, so why not make it better?
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, lets us
what
do that.
what is your like secret whenever you're coming up with the ideas, whatever you can do anything, right, with augmented reality, but how you can choose what to do with the specific brand or their objective?
Mostly it's this. I try to make a personalized effect whenever an audience or a user uses it. So it has to be personalized to them. It should feel like, okay, this is made for me. So whenever you read a book, right? If you read a book and it feels like, oh, this book was written for me, then you have that book in your favorite list.
Yeah.
So I try to incorporate that whenever I'm making an AR experience. First make it personalized, then easy to use, then it should be accessible by across multiple devices, because we know that not everybody has the latest and greatest of iPhones or Android phones. So it
Mhm.
has to work on multiple phones, starting from lower end Android to higher end Android, and lower end iPhone to higher end iPhone. And also, it should be very whenever I'm considering for a campaign, it's targeted to to reach specific audience.
Mhm.
So keeping the target audience in mind, I craft that experience to them, so that, like, instead of targeting a whole range of people whom I don't know, if I know my TG, then I can make a better experience for them. So
Okay.
mostly whenever I'm coming up with my ideas for clients, these things I make sure it's very easy to use, it has a high reach, and it targets a specific audience who's interested in this.
But how you know that it can have this high reach from the beginning, like whenever you are crafting these ideas?
No, I'm talking about the not reach. Actually, it's targeting a specific audience.
Hmm.
So also we can run AR ads now. So
Yeah.
that really helps in
Mm.
like in targeting the specific audience, because Facebook has a lot of data that we can use. So here
Okay.
in the last point, I use that one.
Can you just make give us an example, like who might don't know what you mean by like simple to use effects, right? Like
Yeah. So
and
simple to
compare
use.
to difficult ones.
Okay. So here you have seen randomizers. Sir. You might have seen a lot of them. Yeah. So people are bored with that. Like, they know the format works, but here simple to use means the trigger. So what the user has to do. There are three things, right? Whenever somebody is using an effect, you have a trigger, you have an interaction that the effect or the experience does, and then you have the delight. You give a reward to the user for doing that particular interaction.
Mhm.
So here the trigger should be as simple as possible. It can be a tap or a blink or a tap and hold of the record button. So that is the trigger. And then we come to the interaction part. Here is where all the magic happens. Here you have to put in the most amount of effort to make things look really pretty and also flow seamlessly. So here one more element that gets added is time. So mostly whenever I'm making an experience, I make sure it completes within 15 seconds because people already have really short attention span.
Yeah.
And this experience, whenever I'm making it, takes from 12 seconds to 14 seconds.
It would be amazing if you send all the experiences, like while you are talking, we will just use these experiences on your voiceover for this video.
Oh yeah, I do have them. I have all of these experiences that I'm talking about. I was really busy. I couldn't upload on Cross Creators, but I'm back in my workstation right now. I was back at home for a month. So I make sure to incorporate all of these things in the effects that I'm making, either for myself or my clients. But to be honest, I've not made much of my personal effects. So most of the time, I end up making effects for clients. Whenever I have an idea for myself, if a client has a similar brief, I'll just use that there.
Mm-hmm.
It'll get more reach and all of that. Yeah.
What type of challenges do you have with your brands? And if you had a magic wand, what would you change in relationship with clients and creator?
Okay. Client and creator, I think we talked about this. So right now, the problem is whenever we tell to the client, okay, we'll only get 3 revisions or 3 iterations. So it's never, like almost never followed through. I've seen that like multiple times in 3 years now. Almost all the time it's not followed through. And also the payment terms, it should be, the client should be able to get the end files after they pay the whole amount. It's right now it's not like that, and you can't reinforce that on the client as well.
It's on Cross Creators like that.
yeah, I know, but we talked about the payment thing, right? So we'll have to pay through another bank to US and then get it. It might be a bit of friction for me right now, but I will onboard some of my clients on Cross Creators and solve that. I know you have a solution for this. That is one thing. And also, like right now, I talk to my clients mostly on email and WhatsApp. The communication channel, like on WhatsApp, you do have your personal communication as well. It gets messy sometimes.
It's
A separate
always
channel like that.
it always gets messy.
Yeah, and a way for them to see the progress, what's happening. Okay, when are we getting what? Because most of the times, like we are giving them an update. I mostly give them one update a week. If I'm taking 3 weeks, then I give them one update at the start of the week, most probably one at the end of the week. But they're like, okay, they constantly keep bugging us. Okay, what's going on? Like, what are you working on? So
yeah, like whenever they are starting augmented reality, they are super nervous. They don't know like
exactly
about, so they are nervous like where they are putting money. So, but at the end, like everybody's happy, right? So
So with augmented reality, I would also like want to make this one more thing where right now, if you see websites, so if you don't have a website, it's like a pain point for your business. So you can't go ahead without a website. Without an augmented reality experience, it's not like that. Augmented reality experience is more like a supplement rather than a painkiller. So how can we make it a painkiller? So I'm kind of curious on that.
Actually, just people don't understand that they are in pain whenever using old-fashioned marketing strategies and they are losing money. Actually, they are in pain, but they are not just opening to themselves that they are in pain. Like because because people don't like to allow themselves to know that they don't know something.
Exactly.
And whenever we're talking about the professionals who are marketing managers, they don't like to be wrong. So they're saying to themselves that something is not working, that they are used to their marketing mix.
The traditional marketing.
Yeah, but from time to time, it is changing. Like compared to last year, a lot more brands are implementing augmented reality, right?
Yeah. So right now, one thing is I know for sure so whenever we make an experience, it it's it's going to be a good experience, but they also have to do some marketing around it. They have to know how to market an AR experience.
Yeah, because
So
content creation
they
without
do not know
promotion
that.
is not enough.
Yeah, because if you just create it, nobody will know about it. Like, what's the point?
Okay. Do you have any advice how to promote the specific?
Yeah. So what has worked for me in the past is influencer marketing. In India, at least, that works really well. So you take a bunch of influencers and tell them to use the experience, and also tell them to promote their audience to use it as well. So once people see, okay, this cool effect is going around, they also want to be a part of it. Okay, because I'm making the experience personalized, people wouldn't expect the same result that, let's suppose you're using it, I saw it on your story, I will not get the same thing. I'll get something that is personalized to me. Then I would also want to use it. So the ripple effect continues.
Yeah.
That way, influencer marketing is really helpful. And sometimes I've also seen whenever I'm making an experience like a solar system experience, I made it for CBSE here in India. It's the education board for schools. So there, what happened? The solar system is already popular. It's a popular search term. People are searching it and getting the experience, and it has like millions of impressions without me doing anything.
Yeah.
So that also works.
Yeah, it's every marketing manager's dream, actually. So, like, what would you do? What would you say to those marketing managers who are not leveraging augmented reality yet? Like, what type of questions they have to answer them to understand that they are ready to implement augmented reality now?
Oh, nice. Good question. Good question. So here, I'd say mostly it's the already existing traditional marketing techniques or methods. They do not like they do not encourage audience or excite them like, oh, something crazy is happening, and unless you make an experience around it. So I'd say ki mostly if you want your audience to be hyped, or if you want to create buzz around something, if you want to increase brand awareness, at that time traditional marketing isn't that effective as it used to be. And we also have a lot of research papers where augmented reality is shown on papers, on MRI scans. It lights up multiple areas of your brain because multiple of your senses are active there. You're not just seeing, you're also hearing, you're experiencing it, you're also interacting with it. So people, people are more, people tend to remember the brand more, and the brand recall value also increases. So whenever they see an ad later or somewhere outside, they're like, oh, they automatically relate with that brand and then more likely to buy it. And also there have been research papers you also might have seen where AR reduces the return rates on e-commerce platforms a lot. So like we do have solid proof to back these claims, but it's just that people are not aware. So what I would do or say is create more educational content around educating more clients.
But do you think that these clients want to be educated?
Yeah, that is, I mean, they do have a fixed mindset. Like I've talked to a lot of them. They're like, okay, why do we need this? It's just a filter. Like they don't understand it's an experience. The people who do, they are willing to spend a good amount of money on that, and they also get good results.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think with enough content around it, with enough people using it, their minds will also change. They're like, okay, we just have to make more of it.
Actually, Varun, it will be amazing if you are able to showcase like whatever happens, like what type of platforms are you using, like how you're baking the basic filter, because brands are having this perception that it's super easy to create this filter. So it will be amazing, like you to showcase the mechanics, the steps you are taking to bake one filter, whatever they are saying that is simple.
Whenever we are making an experience, we start with the ideation. So we write down the ideas on note app like Google Docs or Notion. And then once that is done, we create a mood board on Figma. Because Figma is free and a lot of people use it. And it's very easy to use design tool. After Figma is done, we show this concept, and we make some of these concepts in Photoshop and also use some AI tools from time to time, because they do make the job a lot easier, like Mid Journey or Stable Diffusion. Once we have these mockups ready, we show the clients, okay, this is screen 1, screen 2, and screen 3 user journey along with the write-up of the journey. And then once the client approves, okay, let's go ahead with idea 1 or 2, we start developing the assets, like designing the assets in either Figma or Photoshop. These two design tools we use on a regular basis. Then we take them into Spark. And if the project requires any 3D assets, we make them in Blender. So Blender is the free open source 3D tool. Once that is done, we export that in like a particular FBX format or GLTF. Import that into Spark. Process if audios are required. For audio, we use Audacity or Audition. Both of them are really good. Then use some online converters to convert them into .m4a format.
Yeah.
And then there's also this wonderful tool, Crushy.
Crushy?
Yeah, Crushy. So a lot of the time what happens is the textures that we use on our 3D models or in our AR experience, they are of a higher size. But we do require them in lower size, but do not lose the quality. So here, you have seen online image compressors, right? Yeah, Crushy is similar to that, but it runs locally on your system. It makes the job really, really easy. You can just like drag and drop and crush them when they are in the project itself. You don't have to take them out, import them.
For every creator.
Yeah, very useful, very useful. So Crushy and also Visual Code, VS Code actually, for editing all the scripts and JavaScript and TypeScript files. Along with that, what else? I also use this tool, PureRev. It's good for adding all the references in one place when you're 3D modeling them. Yeah. And this wonderful tool, Reference. Have you heard of that?
No.
REFRENS. So here in India, it's really useful if you have a GST registration to bill your clients, and this gives you a whole like suite to make your invoices, send it to your clients, get a reply for them, remind them, and all of it is free, by the way.
So our time is going up, but like for the last question, how you see the future of augmented reality marketing and how you see yourself in this future?
Okay. Augmented reality marketing, it will move from our phones to these AR wearables that are coming out right now. With Quest 3, I think a lot of people will be buying those because everybody wants to get into spatial development and spatial design with Apple launching their Vision Pro.
Yeah.
So with that, I've also started developing in Unity as well. So mostly I started with Spark, but then back then I didn't have any coding experience. After that, I learned a bit of JavaScript, and I've made effects on Lens Studio and Effect House on TikTok. So these social media platforms are good, but if you want to make like your own platform or a game, making apps for Quest or making apps for Vision Pro is the future, I feel. There you have complete control, and it's a bigger audience. Right now, I'm focusing mostly on Quest because, Vision Pro is already very expensive. It's $3,500, and the audience will be buying it. I think small.
Yeah, small audience, but it's nice to start working on that.
Yeah. It's because the thing is, Apple is making it really easy for us to port apps. So what I'm doing here is learning how to make apps for Quest, and since Apple has made it really easy for us to port anything to Quest, anything to Vision Pro, I can easily port those apps to Vision Pro later on.
Yeah.
If you have seen this Keynote, you definitely might have seen that, right? So there they also showcased a lot of games which they ported on Mac.
Okay.
Apple is...
You will be teleporting in Unity kind of content creation for future, and you see yourself like that.
Yeah, mostly Unity, because rather than restricting ourselves to one particular like social media platform, why not create it for the whole ecosystem?
Okay.
But this will still be there. It's like an add-on. You're already making it for Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and TikTok. You can also make it for the web. Okay, by the way, I also do make experience on 8th Wall. for clients who do not want their experiences to be on Instagram or something, because they want their customer to go on a browser. They do not want a platform, right?
Mhm.
So that's also there. Web and Quest Store along with Apple Store. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a big market going step by step there. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. We will partner with.
everybody should learn Unity. It's like that's I think that's the way ahead.
Sure. Varun, thank you so much. It's always really interesting to talk with you, and I hope that we talk
Thanks.
soon as well.